Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, today briefly, well, first off, I hope you guys had an amazing day. Today is Tuesday, so happy Tuesday to those of you. I wanted to really discuss, how to deal with mean girls. I know that there's a lot of girls, a lot of women who just seem to deal with uh a lot of mean girl stuff, and I just want to share how I kind of deal with it. And then obviously you guys can share down in the comments below what you guys think of it or do to combat it. So here's the thing. I would say this. I believe that when you're dealing with mean girls, quote unquote, it is very important to really stay grounded within yourself, and not know that their behavior and their choices is really not about you as much as it is about them. It can be kind of hard when you're in spaces and settings where women don't gravitate towards you, or they're just kind of mean to you. And a lot of times, and this is my, my opinion, is a lot of times women, especially if you've done nothing for them to be mean to you, or just like nothing that's kind of like justifiable, right? A lot of times that is insecurity within those women. It may be jealousy within those women. It may be that you are kind of like a mirror to who they are and or what they haven't amounted to. And it's nothing. Let me tell you guys something. I know I come on here and I be talking my ish, right? But in real life, I don't feel the need to have to reiterate that I'm that girl, right? I feel like other women show me I'm that girl by their behaviors. If I wasn't a threat to them, I wouldn't have to deal with certain things, right? If I wasn't prettier than them, I wouldn't be dealing with certain things. Like a lot of women, for whatever reason, have different insecurities that they like to project onto other people. And unfortunately, you would think that women, would show camaraderie and, all this different stuff. But the reality of it is women are just as mean as, you know, as can be. And not all women, obviously, but there are a lot of women that engage in these behaviors. It's a lot of women that will go out of their way to try and sabotage you, to try and lie on you, to cheat, to steal, maybe even to, unalive you. I don't know. But this is a common, especially when you're pretty, when you're successful, when you're confident, or you give the appearance of confidence, right? Because I'm gonna tell you now, as a woman, I have my insecurities, right? But I think because I vocalize my insecurities. So for example, if I think, oh, my body changed a little bit, I announce stuff like that with the people that I love, so I'm able to kind of get that stuff out, because I don't shy away from the conversation, but I know, hey, maybe something about this, it kind of makes me feel like, a bit insecure, right? But I think that when I'm in other spaces, because I have created a space in which I'm able to share those insecurities, and really kind of work through them or laugh at myself or whatever, right? And be vulnerable, I'm able to go into settings like a workspace, or a social setting, or I don't know, like a, business event or whatever, and really carry myself with a level of confidence that I think intimidates a lot of other people, right? And a lot of times I'm not going in there with the idea that I probably had to work up to that confidence, right? Sometimes certain situations, especially when I've had to work a room with people I don't really like open up to or know, there's a lot of nerves that go into me being able to prepare for that, so that I can be friendly enough to not be awkward, if that makes sense. So I am not as secure as I think people sometimes think, but for whatever reason, because I carry myself with my head held high, you're not going to hear me complain about my life in certain situations. You're not going to hear me talk down about myself or whatever. The way that I carry myself, the way that I dress, it does give off a certain level of confidence. And I'm a person, let me be clear. I have been really taught to not take things personal. I've been taught to kind of who cares what they think kind of thing. And I've always kind of low key been that way. Okay. So it helps to have, especially when you're dealing with mean girls, that level of confidence, even if you've got to talk to yourself in the mirror before you step into a room where you know there may be several girls or even one girl that doesn't like you. And they're, again, not liking you and engaging in mean girl tactics are two different things. And so one of the things that I had to develop was never let, because I used to be the girl that would just call girls out and be like, shoot, what's up? Like, instead of doing all this mean girl shit, let's just, handle our business and go about our day. I am a person, I genuinely believe that fighting solves a lot of issues more, and I'm talking about physical, although I don't condone it and I would never tell my daughter to do it. I do believe that's a faster way to solve a problem, right? Than all the mean girl tactics that women utilize, like the passive aggressiveness, I'm not going to talk to you. All this extra shit is, to me, and I'm a woman, but I never was for stuff like that. Like, I don't understand how women have the time or the energy to keep that kind of mean girl behavior up, right? Um I am a woman. I'm a woman's woman. So I like other women. I'll go so far to say I actually love women. I'm a woman. I've been around women. I love women when women are at their best, when they're confident, when you're not busy competing with another woman. Like, I like women when women are simply being women. I don't like the mean girl. I'm going to constantly poke, prod, and everything else to try to get you to react, or whatever that looks like in your situation, whether you're dealing with high school nonsense or you're dealing with, in the workspace or wherever you're dealing with these types of behaviors. When I was younger, I used to react. Okay, I was like a ticking time bomb. So a lot of girls, especially when they felt like I was a threat to whatever guy they were talking to or whatever. Like, a lot of women would, I had a lot of female friends, so I can't say a lot of women. I had a lot of women friends, but I also had a lot of women that had issues with me. And the first time I ever learned, really had to deal with the mean girl tactics is when I came to Colorado. And it was hard because where I'm from, we just dealt with it. We talked, we had a discussion, and that was that. If you put your hands on me, that was a whole nother conversation. But for the most part, people were more honest where I'm from. And so you didn't have to tiptoe and guess and wonder and all this extra shit that this passive aggressive kind of mean girl behavior attracts. And it comes from women of all ages, all ages. So I would say to combat that, it's not that you're gonna, one thing you got to understand when you're dealing with that kind of behavior is knowing that you cannot control other people, you can only control yourself. You can't control what they do. You're not there to prove yourself to them. You're not there to convince them that you're worth liking. You have to know that when a woman shows you that side of her, that's who she really is. So you 9 times out of 10 gonna get that side from her no matter what you do. And if she sees you cave into what she thinks is what's best or whatever, you're gonna always be treated like that secondhand girl. You're never gonna make it to the it girl. You're never gonna make it to that girl. You're gonna be the friend that she sneak disses, but she your friend. You're gonna be that friend that may not get called to the barbecue when all the other friends is getting called, but you her friend type stuff. So my thing is understanding that when women are mean, it's about them. It's about them. It don't matter how nice they are. It don't to other people. It don't matter what kind of car they drive, how successful or not successful they are, how pretty they are. A woman who engages in certain types of tactics without any reason to act that way, not a legitimate reason. Not when I say legitimate, I'm thinking of, is this situation or whatever it is going to affect you a week from now, a month from now? Does it stop you from making your money? Does it stop you from eating or feeding your babies? If the answer is no, if you ain't going to remember it 5 years from now, and it's not blatant disrespect, like a person, it's just a miscommunication. Maybe you're misunderstanding them or they're misunderstanding you or whatever. Certain situations are just for that mean girl behavior. It comes out, but it's kind of uncalled for. Okay. I could be mean, but usually if I'm mean, I got a reason as to why I'm mean. I could tell you why I'm mean. Some of these women, they can't. They make up any, oh, you know, and then I'm gonna tell you guys now, because I'm in a different position than what I was in when I was younger. Okay. So I have a higher duty, I kind of feel like, to not lower myself to this tactics of others. So one of the things that I've been having to work on is not returning, because I could return to mean girl. I'm not passive and petty and all that. Like I could probably be petty if I run my mouth enough, but I'm not what's the word? I'm not a passive girl. Like if I got an issue with you, you gonna know when I'm ready to let you know. You see what I'm saying? I'm not the girl that's gonna talk about you. I may talk about you to people who don't even know you, but that's because they know me. And it's my way of venting, right? It's my way of getting it off my chest. But I'm not gonna talk about you and gossip about you to other women. I'm not going to try to get other women to rile against you. Like I feel like my problems with you are my problems with you. I don't need another woman to come in and validate me and how I feel about my problems with you. I'm not the girl that's going to team up with your enemies to try to get back at you. I'm not the girl that's going to try to poke and prod and get a reaction out of you, because it's not my steez. I don't move like that. I really don't have the energy for it. So because I'm in a higher space, right, at a higher level, and I'm operating at a higher level, I have a responsibility to move at a higher level, meaning that part of that mean girl energy, because see, some of us women, right, when we're treated a certain way, it becomes easy to respond. Like I'm a Pisces, I'm a mirror of what you are. So if you're mean to me, you can bet your bottom dollar I could be mean just as you, if not better. But I've learned that I've got to take the high road. The high road doesn't mean that I'm kissing your ass to be your friend. I'm trying to make you like me, right? It means that I still have to be respectful and I still got to be cordial because your choices, how you treat me, is not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of you. And let me tell you something, when you're able to kill them with kindness, oh, that gets under somebody's skin much more than you trying to return the favor or trying to fit in. And I know for kids, it's harder, right? Because kids are wired to seek friendships. But like I had to tell my daughter, if you got to go play by yourself, girl, play by yourself. You got to know that you are the ish and nothing makes you the ish. This is what people don't understand. You could get $1 million tomorrow and you could buy things that make you give you the appearance of being that girl, of being her, right? But on the inside, how you feel is always going to bleed through into your reality. So even if you had $1 million, your attitude's still trash, right? The way you feel about yourself is still low, not good, right? So understanding that you decide if you're that girl or not. You decide that, not no other woman. It's a lot of women out here that don't know how to stand on their own. Don't know how to like another thing that women mean girl behavior that attracts that behavior for, and you be like, what the hell? I didn't even do nothing to you. You got, you mean to me, is when a woman is stronger than another woman. And what I mean by this, you would think it would be the other way around, but strength and confidence come hand in hand. This is why when I hear women talk about, oh, well, we just want to be soft. We just, no, you got to be strong. Like soft to me means weak. It ain't, when I say I live in a soft life, right? Okay, could my life be a little softer? I could be working from home and not having to drive in traffic. But the reality of it is, I feel like as a woman, I actually do live a pretty soft lifestyle. I've worked hard for that. Now, me going to work, me driving in traffic and being stressed out, that's traffic. And yeah, I one day want to eliminate it, but right now, to live the life that I'm living, I gotta go drive into work, right? With that being said, there's nothing wrong with a woman's strength. There is nothing wrong with a woman who is strong-willed, who has a strong mind, who knows where she's going, who knows who she is, and does not need validation from anybody. This is what I tell y'all when I'm dealing with problems, especially within the work setting. Women think this is I'm here to be for y'all to like me. I'm not at work for folks to like me. I'm at work to get paid. Shit. So dealing with, certain aspects within, women and understanding that a weaker woman is going to try to tear down the stronger woman because and not all, right? But a lot of them, especially when you go in these places with your head held high, confident, these women be looking like, who the hell she thinks she is? Why does that matter? I don't know, but I swear to God, I have experienced that more now that I am successful than I've ever felt. But see, my confidence increased because my success increased, and my success increased because of me. So it came hand in hand. All of it came hand in hand. So now I walk and I talk and I carry myself as if I'm the one in charge. It wouldn't matter where I'm going. I got the power because I do. I control my reality. So a lot of women are intimidated by strong women. They think a strong personality is there to challenge them, there to whatever. But it's like that's not necessarily the case. I could be an introvert and be strong. I could be respectful and still be strong. But a lot of people do not see it that way. But I think, again, it goes back to them. It's a personal issue, it becomes their own personal problem. So when dealing with mean girls, you got to know yourself. And if let me tell you something, if you're still struggling with knowing yourself, having those positive affirmations in the morning, looking at yourself in the mirror, telling yourself, you got this, you could do this, you are this, you are the best. Whatever you got to do to pump up yourself, not to where you are arrogant, but to where you are confident. And I want to be clear, there's a thin line between confidence and arrogance. So you also get people who confuse the two, and they will tell you, I've heard so many times, you're so arrogant. I'm not arrogant, I'm confident. And that looks different, right? Just like I'm not mean, I'm assertive, right? I let you know what I need. I communicate. I'm a woman that you're not just gonna walk all over me, and I'm not changing that to make a woman feel comfortable. If I wouldn't do it for a man, I'm not doing it for a woman. So when dealing with mean girl behaviors, you have to know that your eyes should always be on the damn prize. Whatever that looks like for you, do not get caught up in the nonsense, because that is the intent. So if you in school, one of the things I wanted to do when I was younger is I wanted to join a sorority. And I had the chance to do a lot of different things, to be honest, but I never took them. But the sorority thing is something I really wanted to do. I grew up really learning about, and thought that it would be the best move for me. And my mom says, Sierra, you ain't about to join no sorority. She's like, really think about it. And I was like, I am a woman that cannot deal with hazing. I will kill somebody. Okay. Real talk. You try to haze me out of some mean girl shit, I'm not going to be friends with you 5 years from now. I'm going to despise you. So, I say that to say, knowing yourself, knowing your boundaries, and really saying, you got to be willing to say, this ain't even worth it. If I got to deal with this every day, this is not worth it. I know when I was younger, I had friends that hated me, boy. They was my friends and smiling in my face, but these were friends that if I was rest in peace, a Shanquilla Robinson or any other of these girls that we know that are being harmed by their so-called friends, I'd have been, in another situation. I didn't have no real female friends. I had to cut them all off when I decided to grow, when I decided to take control over my life, because these women were secretly jealous of me, and their jealousy is what kind of fueled their motive to be fake towards me, to be nasty towards me, whatever. And we would go through our stuff for many years. I had the same female friends, quite a few of them too, for many years, since I was a teenager up until I was about 30 years old. And they didn't understand why. A lot of my friends, a lot of them got mad at me for cutting them off and moving on with my life. But the reality of it is, if you ain't good for me, there's no reason for you to be around me. You ain't supporting me, you ain't got my back, you ain't really a friend, there's no reason for you to be around me. So having confidence, knowing who you are, not letting them knock you off your square, right? Keeping your head high at all times. I don't even care if you feel sad, you don't let them see that. You don't change who you are to make them feel happy, because screw them. And you do that, you're going to be more miserable with yourself than you will be with them. Like, real talk. So never change who you are to be accepted by anybody. Anybody. You change who you are for you, because you want to do it, not because you're being pressured or because these girls don't like you and you want to try to fit in. So you going to try to do things the way, nah, you don't bow down. You're the queen. You either are or you are not. Okay. Dealing with mean girl shit for whatever reason. Okay, you're a pretty girl, then you just gotta know something that you gotta just know as a woman is that certain things come with certain, territories. And you gotta that's the ugly side of certain things. They say it's lonely at the top. Why? Because half these folks ain't there yet. And you being successful, you doing your thing, you being who you are, you raise the bar, thus, again, reiterating to folks that if I can do it, you can do it. And if I can do it and you ain't did it, how come? These are real, So that's my take on it, man. You got to not fall into the shit. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them see you get out of character. Keep being respectful. If you've got to limit how much you communicate with these people, or if you've got to change the way in which you communicate, okay, cool. But don't ever give them the opportunity to make you to see you as any less than who you actually are. So that's my take, y'all. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.